Hey everybody, I'm Denise Dubois and this is a special segment of the Citizen of East Alabama. Today we are out at the Chattahoochee Paddle Company with owner Tom Mulhall. We are super excited to be here. Thank you so much for letting us come in.
Thanks.
We are going to take a tour of the store. We're very excited about that. So let's get started.
This used to be the Howell Cabinet Shop. They made kitchen cabinets here back in the 50s, and then eventually they became the maker of Bickerstaff's wooden brick molds. And for years, that's all they did here was make wooden brick molds for Bickerstaff brick. We bought the building back in 2015, and at that point, it had been abandoned for about 15 years. This is what we call the boathouse. This is all we do in here is just store boats. We've got canoes, kayaks, paddle boards. We can handle some fairly large groups with canoes. Tubing is something that we've just started doing here in the last year. Nobody else has really done tubing here, but we found that the river is really an excellent place for it because it's long and narrow, and there's generally a pretty good current here. With a good flow, it takes about an hour a mile. And we've got quite a selection of kayaks and just different types of canoes. We try to fit the right canoe or the right kayak for the group so that whatever they're doing, it kind of fits the person and what they want to do. We get a lot of people that come in and they just want to relax. You know, it's all flat water that we do. We don't go through the rapids. It's just load up a cooler, head out to the river, and just sit back and float and just let the river take you.
Tell us about this canoe that we're seeing right here.
This canoe was built by Don Wells here in Phoenix City. This one was actually built in his garage, and the rowboat over here was built here. This is kind of the things that we plan to get into more of as we develop. Things that are wooden boats that are made here. We've done a lot of work with natural things, like even our paddle racks here kind of reflect the community. This paddle rack we built with a part of the old wooden dam that was behind the dam that they blew up. But the top piece there, and then the top piece on the canoe racks, the kayak racks, all of that are parts of the old wooden dam, and we've tried to work all of that into what we do here.
How did you get those pieces?
They're floating on the side of the river. We actually had to cut one of them out of the tree. This paddle rack here is made from one of the big logs, but it was wedged way up in a tree, and it had another piece connected to it. When we cut it, they fell out, and then we just took a winch and winched them onto the back of the trailer and brought them up here. And luckily, I have a really big giant son that can just pick them up and move them.
Wonderful.
So,
now you also have a shop in the back.
Right.
For creating things.
Right. We have a wood shop here. It's probably something a little unusual for most of your canoe and kayak rental places to build wooden boats. And in the winter time, that's kind of what we plan to do. When everybody kind of feels like it's too cold to go canoeing and kayaking, we'll be building wooden boats and keep them busy doing that.
Have you built a boat yet?
That one there.
All right, so tell us about this boat and how you built it.
Okay, we started off by going to wooden boat school in Annapolis, Maryland. And then they started us there, and then we brought it back here and we finished it. And it was a project that it takes a long time to build a wooden boat because you got to layer it and put your fiberglass down, and then you put epoxy down, and then you put more epoxy down. You sand it, you epoxy it. But this is actually going to be a rental. We'll rent it for $20 an hour. It comes with a really long set of paddles, oars. We haven't put it out a lot yet. It's mainly for special events, times when water is like really low. And this year we've just had so much rain, it just hasn't been something that we put out there very much. And then once we have a dock, it'll be easier to launch it. And we should have our dock in the next year.
How long did it take you to build it?
The main part of it was really in a week. And then it took several months to finish it. The finishing is what took so long. The assembly was about 5 days, you know. So we could make one pretty fast. It just, the finishing of it is what takes a long time. Just to let you know a little bit about some of the different types of boats that we have here. These are some of our more popular kayaks that go out. They're sit-on-top kayaks. They're great for the summertime. They've got a decent seat in them. And then we've got something over here that's a hybrid between a kayak and a canoe. It's a little different than the kayak because you've got higher sides, but this has got a kayak seat in it that you can sit in. It's a kayak fishing seat. It's one of my favorites. If somebody wanted to do a double kayak, we've got double and triple kayaks for more people. And you paddle all these with a double bladed paddle. And then we've got canoes as well. Where our single canoes, we paddle with a kayak paddle. These take a canoe paddle. These are 3-person Old Town canoes. These are another product from Phoenix City. Alex Cabriel designs and has these manufactured. It's the Heavy Eddy brand. And on the side of it, it says right here, created and designed in the Chattahoochee Valley. And then it's got a symbol with both the Georgia and the Alabama there together, which I think is really, really cool.
So talk about why you decided to start this business.
This is something that I've always enjoyed doing. The first time I ever got in a canoe, I was probably 11, 12 years old with Boy Scouts. And then when I was about 14, I started teaching canoeing and rowing at Boy Scout summer camp. And as I got older, you know, I saw other businesses that were similar to this. There's one on the Flint River, the outdoor center there. In my 20s, you know, we would go down there several times a year. My wife and I eventually bought our own canoe, and even when my son was tiny, we would go down the river. But I always thought that we could do that here the same way they're doing on the Flint. I just thought we just needed a place to do it. And when they started talking about opening up the dams, I thought this would be the perfect location for both doing whitewater and flat water. And we started off with just the flat water, and I think we've got a pretty good program going, and I think it's just going to take off from here.
I'm Denise Dubois, and you've been watching a special section of the Citizen of East Alabama. We have had a great time out here at the Chattahoochee Paddle Company. Come join us.